Most of the patterns that we exist in did not begin with us. They've been inherited through the womb lineage of women. What we witnessed in our formative years creates the impressions and the blueprint from which we believe we must experience life as or through or in the same way. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. An embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am a feminine awakener, thought leader, embodied business doula, sacred business midwife, healer, and all-round medicine woman. I am here to guide women deeper into their essence and power, to activate their life force, awaken pleasure, and support them to live an embodied life. I will help you birth your visions, dreams, creations, desires, and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted place within. My work supports women to become more available for life, love, relationship, connection, creation, pleasure, and wealth. I will activate you into self-leadership and self-mastery to truly live an embodied and awakened life. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, beautiful woman. Welcome back to the Embodied Woman podcast. Today, I wanted to share what has been present and alive within my field and the community of women that I have been traversing life with, holding space for them as they unfold and deepen into themselves and to fully live their version of an embodied life. Recently, there have been some pretty congruent narratives washing their way through the spaces I hold and create for women. And these themes that have been women feeling undernourished and depleted, disconnected from their feminine nature, lacking boundaries, unable to prioritize themselves and their needs, stuck in patterns of people-pleasing, undernourishing their body, unable to align to making healthful choices for themselves. These women arrive from all walks of life. Some women expressing how they used to make taking care of themselves a priority, but somehow it got lost along the way. Some sharing that they don't know what their needs are, that they have been in patterns of self-abandonment most of their life. Others terrified of the change that will arrive when they place their needs first or as a priority, but somehow resting in a knowing in their body and their heart that it is needed. Often they have arrived in a place of burnout, stress running through their body, imbalance in hormones, inability to rest or to sleep well, a lack or loss of libido and sexual energy, an overall feeling of depletion and a loss of the spark and vitality of their essence and nature. And others arrive ready, almost roaring to embody their fullness, like a part of them has come back online and alive and is speaking through them in that powerful, wild, feminine way, a deep calling from some place within to return and nourish the self, the physical and the emotional and the spiritual bodies. And as we sit and explore these narratives and themes, I feel such a deep resonance with all that these powerful and brave women have been bringing into my space, because I know them very well. These patterns and many more have shown up countless times on my own journey of becoming resourced and nourished. The fears that exist in truly taking care of myself, the stories that have played out that have kept me from becoming resourced, nourished, and full of vitality and life. All the parts and aspects and identities of myself that I have gripped onto tightly throughout the years as who I am. And if I become something else, something that's not that, then things will change. I truly, truly understand. Women have been deeply conditioned by society to abandon themselves, their true nature, and their essence, to gain the love, attention, and safety that is perceived and believed to live in the external. Woven into our nervous systems, and I know for sure they were deeply woven into mine, are the beliefs that we must please, to be good, to be liked, to be chosen, to fit into a world that has this extreme linear energy and expectation. But our nature and our essence was not created to be in expression in that way. And over time, we as women live in this linear experience of life, and it begins to slowly, over time, deplete us, take from us, draw out our life force and vital energy. We become disconnected from ourselves and our bodies as the only known way in which to survive and to live in a world that has not been created at this time to support and nurture the feminine. Disconnected from our cycles, our inner rhythms, the powers and strengths that exist in all of those different stages of our inner cyclical experience. We strive to exist in the summer of our inner seasons all year round, but we only have to experience a gazing out towards nature to recognize that it is never summer all the time, and that nature grows and blooms in her fullness when all seasons are in expression. And here, when we as women are in this heightened energy of summer, those peak days of ovulation where we truly feel we can take on the world, which we can at that point in time. We get stuck there, a cocktail of hormones surging through us, adrenaline pumping through our veins, driving us deeper into masculine states of being. And here we reach a place of fatigue, burnout, cellular exhaust, depletion, a loss of interest or spark for life, disconnected from our bodies, our womanhood, sensuality, sexuality, and fertility, all waters and fluids of the body that seemingly begin to dry up. Over time, the body becomes flooded with stress, anxiety, exhaustion. And this is not a fertile ground for the creative spark of the feminine to blossom, to grow, to bloom, and to come into fruition. So often I sit and witness the women arriving at this point in their lives. They wake up to the thoughts, patterns, and imprints that have been impressed upon them. And they begin to ask some big and profound questions around who they are and how they truly desire to show up in their life. These moments are truly here to be celebrated, although at that time we can feel like the world is crumbling down around us. And it begins a journey of deep inner unraveling of all of the stories, the ways in which we believed we must relate to ourselves and the world outside of us. These moments are a start of a potent time in a woman's life, as she begins to consciously realign to her deepest values, beliefs, and desires. And it is through this journey of truly nourishing and resourcing the body that these patterns and beliefs are able to unravel in such a way that feels supportive for the system. We must remember that some or most of these beliefs have been etched into our bodies and psyches since the beginning of this lifetime, and quite possibly passed along the lineage of women that walked before us. Most of the patterns that we exist in did not begin with us. They've been inherited through the womb lineage of women. What we witnessed in our formative years creates the impressions and the blueprint from which we believe we must experience life as or through or in the same way. We only have to rewind the clock a few generations and how different the world is and has changed in this time. Witnessing mothers or grandmothers or women around us in high levels of stress, undernourishing their bodies, not taking care of their hearts and their minds and their wombs, depleted and under-resourced, lacking valuable nutrition and nourishment from their food and their diets. It's almost been a badge of honor that has been worn through different periods of time by women, a place in which we have sought after praise, glorification, celebration. I only have to think back to the younger years of my life to remember points in time in which my friends and I would celebrate how little we ate in a day, how little we could survive off, how much energy we could have and how much we could do, all without very much taking any fuel into the body. When I sit in this space and think back to those times now, my heart aches very much for that younger part of myself and all of my friends around me. But this is what we knew. These were the lies and the conditions that we began to align ourselves to. As we arrive in this tower moment, these awakening times, where usually the body has spoken to us in some way, shape or form, maybe through discomfort, burnout, a diagnosis of some kind, a lack of creative expression, challenges with fertility, a loss of libido and sexual energy, or a lack or loss of zest and excitement for life, no desire to connect with others, pour into ourselves and into the relationships around us. We feel deflated and defeated, the body just calling us to lay, to rest. We can often hear in these times begin to feel incredibly overwhelmed, and the slightest of things in life can take us down to our knees, our nervous system unable to recalibrate and regulate in a way that it once may have been able to. Deep waves of emotion may pass through us, and I definitely experienced these in my own journey and witnessed them in so many others as a deep call from the body to listen. And the calls and the cries become louder and louder when we are not turning our attention towards what it is that we truly need to feel safe and supported in ourselves, in our bodies, in our lives. And here is a calling, mostly from the body, to begin to nourish and nurture ourselves in new ways, to allow the inner mother to rise, to take care of ourselves in the way that we need and most of all deserve. Being held in safe and tender spaces that offer accountability through softness and love enable us to deepen into our resourcing experience, a space where we can gather with other women, to be held, to hold, to hear, to listen, to be. Deep magic happens when we gather together in this way. And this is why, my loves, I have created the Resourced Woman Immersion. We will be gathering for 3 weeks throughout December, beginning on the 5th, for live sessions together, joining in circle and ceremony, connecting to heart, to body, to womb, where you'll receive resourcing practices, space to share, to listen, to see and witness yourself and hear yourself in others' experiences and stories. You will also receive access to the Resourced Woman online course, which is full and rich with an abundance of practices, self-care rituals, self-honoring journeys to guide you deeper into the resource of your body and being so that you're able to rest, regenerate, and recuperate. Spaces are now open to join us on this journey, and we welcome you to be with us. All the details of the Resourced Woman Immersion will be linked in the show notes of this episode. You can also join me and connect with me in Instagram. I love to hear from you if anything in this episode has resonated. My page is at Rebecca_Wilson_. If you feel like this episode would resonate with a friend or a sister or a beloved woman in your life, please do share and pass on. May we all become resourced, nourished women full of vitality and radiance, just as the divine and nature intended us to be. I'll see you in the Resourced Woman in journey. Have a beautiful day, my love. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.